First of all, I want to address something that I've only very recently, and when I say recently, I mean like last 2 weeks recently, been outspoken about, and that is kind of John mentioned two layers of silence. You got the NDA, you got the arbitration. I would say the third level of silence that I feel like I've been battling this whole time is the media's ignorance and failure to cover this case. And I think it's something that we have to call out. And I want to credit you two guys, Will and Josh, for inviting me on your podcast because, like John said, this is an extremely important case. And the American people should know about it. We actually, gave notice in our case to the class members. So I'm not saying that they didn't receive notice, but the American people generally should be more aware, number one, that Donald Trump tried to censor and silence people so aggressively because he so ardently claims to be a champion of free speech and that he's a victim of violations of free speech, and that this precedent has been set and he has been defeated. I mean, for years, our precedents and the precedents I said even before I brought this team together were proving that the courts were effective to defeat the lawlessness of Donald Trump. And this is kind of a crisis that our democracy is facing. We have to have a system that shows that this man can be held accountable. And here is one woman and her team who have been proving that. This is a story that needs to be told. So, again, kudos to you guys for having me on and having John on to share the importance of this. Has anybody from the campaign reached out to me? No. I've spoken a little bit about this. I was persona non grata in the campaign. When I got slandered, when I got thrown under the bus, very little has changed since that time. One woman who experienced a similar experience that I did on that campaign reached out to me several years ago and said, Jessica, I want to join you. I want to join your class action, the first version of it that we brought. And she got cold feet almost immediately. And to me, that's just a indication of the kind of fear that people live under when they're subjected to these NDAs. And even when I got my individual precedent, which was 2 years back, that signaled to a lot of people, these things are unraveling, she twice after that failed to show up for a subpoenaed deposition in my case. I mean, this is the level of fear that these NDAs hold over people. So it's extremely significant that now they are entirely free. Part of our victory is, and why we fought so long leading up to this, the campaign said, oh, we're not going to enforce these anymore. And we're like, yeah, your word's not so good. We're going to make sure the court orders this into law. And we fought till the end for that purpose. So not only the campaign could not enforce it, but so that we also have an injunction that none of these hundreds of alleged third parties that are purported to have the power to enforce it could do so either. So now it really has the force of law. Nobody is empowered to enforce these things. And I hope that these people who have been silenced or not spoken out up until this point, more than, tell dramas or soap operas about what they experienced on the campaign, I hope that they utilize their voice for democracy, that they, take this opportunity that has now been given to them to speak what they know truthfully for the salvation, literally, of our democracy.